6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Hassan Gilani. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has expressed Pakistan's strong commitment to elevate transformative nature of China-Pakistan economic corridor into a true game changer. In an interview with China Daily Today, Anwarul Haq Kakar lauded Belt and Road Initiative for inclusive development and poverty alleviation. Foreign Minister will attend ministerial meeting of OIC Executive Committee being held in Jeddah tomorrow to discuss situation in Middle East. At the United Nations, Pakistan has called on Israel to lift inhumane blockade of the Gaza Strip and allow unhindered aid access for the Palestinian people. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Modi regime has activated its Hindutva gangs to create an atmosphere of terror and fear. Pakistan beat Cambodia 1-0 in FIFA World Cup qualifier match in Islamabad today. And now the news in detail. Caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar has expressed Pakistan's strong commitment to elevate transformative nature of China-Pakistan economic corridor to make it a game changer. During an interactive session with a delegation of Chinese think tank and scholars in Beijing today, he said next phase of CPEC should seek a deeper integration of our economies with a focus on diversification and innovation. He said Pakistan aspires to learn from the Chinese model to build its industrial parks and special economic zones. Referring to signing of CPEC Framework Agreement on Industrial Cooperation last year, Anwarul Haq Kakar said, "We must now fully utilize this framework as an instrument for the mutual benefit of the two countries." The Prime Minister invited Chinese companies to invest in solar parks in Pakistan. He said Pakistan is already working to ramp up the share of renewables in its energy mix to as much as 65% by 2030. Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar has lauded Belt and Road Initiative for inclusive development to reduce poverty and inequality. In an exclusive interview with China Daily, he said, BRI is also vital for improving people's ability to pay taxes and enhance government's capacity to retire their debts. Anwarul Haq Kakar described China-Pakistan Economic Corridor as one of the signature projects under the BRI as a practical manifestation of win-win cooperation and shared prosperity. He said CPEC has brought about a direct investment of $25.4 billion to Pakistan and created a total of 236,000 jobs during the last decade. The Prime Minister said Gwadar Port is now functional and regularly handling cargo ships, including transshipment trade for Afghanistan. He said a new international airport will also be inaugurated in Gwadar soon. Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar today attended the state banquet at Great Hall of the Peoples in Beijing, hosted by Chinese President Xi Jinping. The dinner was hosted in honor of world leaders attending the Third Belt and Road Forum for International Development. The Prime Minister was accompanied by senior members of the federal cabinet. The state banquet was attended by heads of states and governments of Russia, Kenya, Ethiopia, Mongolia, Hungary, Sri Lanka, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Papua New Guinea, Mozambique, and Chile, among several other world leaders. On his arrival at the banquet, the Prime Minister was given a red carpet reception. He was welcomed by President Xi and First Lady Madame Peng Liyuan. On the occasion, the Prime Minister also held informal interactions with the world leaders attending the event. Foreign Minister Jalil Abbas Chilani will attend urgent open-ended ministerial meeting of OIC Executive Committee to be held in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia tomorrow. The meeting has been convened by Organization of Islamic Cooperation to discuss crisis in Gaza and humanitarian situation of the besieged civilians there. Foreign Minister Jalil Abbas Chilani will present Pakistan's serious concerns about dire humanitarian situation in Gaza and emphasize urgent need for ceasefire, lifting of siege, and provision of relief assistance to the people of Gaza. On the sidelines, Foreign Minister will also hold bilateral meetings with his counterparts from other OIC member states. Pakistan has called on Israel to lift inhumane blockade of the Gaza Strip and allow unhindered humanitarian aid for the Palestinian people. Speaking at a debate on the Palestinian question at UN panel, the Pakistani Deputy Permanent Representative Muhammad Osman Iqbal Jadoon said Israeli regime must fulfill its obligations as an occupying power under international law. He said that the Palestinian people need protection as well as immediate humanitarian aid and an end of the mass displacement. Pakistan and Kenya have reaffirmed their commitment to enhancing bilateral relations in areas of trade, investment, education, and people-to-people contacts. This commitment was expressed at a meeting between Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar and Kenyan President Dr. William Ruto on the sidelines of the Third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation in Beijing today. The two leaders discussed bilateral cooperation in diverse fields. They emphasized the importance of economic cooperation and agreed to enhance engagement to realize the true potential of bilateral trade. The Prime Minister said that as a fellow member of the Belt and Road Initiative, Pakistan is eager to enhance collaboration with other BRI member countries to develop new projects. This is Radio Pakistan. The repatriation of undocumented and unregistered foreign nationals to their countries is continuing on daily basis. A total of 2,871 Afghan nationals voluntarily left for their country yesterday through Torkham border. The foreign nationals residing illegally in Pakistan have been given a deadline of 31st October by the government to leave the country. The voluntary return of Afghans to their homeland will produce positive results for both the countries. Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, Masood Khan, has advised Pakistani Americans to take advantage of huge investment opportunities in multiple economic sectors of the country. Talking to a delegation of leading Pakistani American entrepreneurs in Chicago, he said Pakistani diaspora have already invested heavily in Pakistan. The ambassador highlighted the critical role of Special Investment Facilitation Council in streamlining business operations. All parties Hurriyat Conference leadership says the naked aggression of India and Israel on the Kashmiris and Palestinians have endangered global peace and stability. In their statements in Srinagar, Hurriyat leaders including Farooq Tawhidi, Muhammad Salim Zargar, Yasmin Raja, Fayaz Hussain Jafri and Muhammad Iqbal said, like Modi regime in occupied Kashmir, the Zionist Israeli regime has made the lives of Palestinians a hell in their own homeland. The leaders said both the regimes are employing settler colonial tactics and committing large-scale massacre in the occupied territories. Meanwhile, India's Modi regime has activated its Hindutva gangs backed by Indian army and police to carry out murder of civilians to create an atmosphere of terror and fear in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The Israeli airstrikes and indiscriminate bombardment on Gaza Strip continued on the 11th consecutive day today, targeting homes, towers, and residential buildings. Dozens of Palestinian civilians have been killed and scores of others injured in an Israeli bombing that targeted a number of homes in Rafah and Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. The continued Israeli bombardment has turned Gaza Strip into a pile of rubble. People in desperate need of water and other basic necessities. People have been forced to dig wells near the sea to fetch water as Gaza, home to 2.3 million people, is facing a shortage of water as well as food. Generators are powering hospitals after Israel cut electricity and the hospitals have few hours of fuel left. Food is running out and warehouses are all empty. In the ICC Men's Cricket Cup 2022, in the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 match at Dharamsala against South Africa, the Netherlands were 140 for 6 in 33 overs a short while ago. Earlier, South Africa won the toss and chose to field. Pakistan beat Cambodia 1-0 in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers match in Islamabad today. This is the first round of qualifiers for FIFA World Cup 2026. And finally, the weather. Dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while cold in northern parts during the next 12 hours. However, isolated rain with thunderstorm may occur in central Balochistan. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/